War and Wives. Archie was a good soldier. After all his time in the Canadian forest, he was very good at shooting. He could sit quietly for hours and watch for enemies. One soldier remembered thinking that Archie was Indian or half Indian. Nobody could halt from enemy soldier as well as Archie. That war was terrible. Tens of thousands of men died on both sides in the fields of Belgium. Archie saw death everywhere. One night he put his coat on a tree. In the morning he saw that it was not a tree, it was the arm of a dead soldier. In January 1916, Archie was shot in the hand. He went to a hospital for a few weeks to get better, but he was soon hurt again. This time he was shot in the foot. He lost a toe and part of his foot. Archie's war ended. He was sent back to England. Years later, Grey Owl spoke about the First World War. The war taught us a terrible lesson about the modern world. He said it was more savage than any native people. Maybe he did believe this when he was older, but immediately after the war, Archie seemed to want the modern world again. He spent a long time in hospital in England. He even stayed in a hospital in his hometown. Hastings, his aunts, visited him, but Archie was very lonely. His aunts had an idea. He should call his old school friend Ivy Holmes. Archie was an unusual man, but Ivy's life was different too. She was 26 and she worked as a dancer. Before the war, they traveled around Europe. Archie seemed very exciting to her. She loved the stories that he told her. Ivy helped him to get better after his terrible time in the war. The two became very close.